Hello, everybody. Um, I'm here. I'm a little late tonight. Had a little meeting before we got together, but I'm here now. Let me set my phone up again so I can see if anybody's making any comments as we go along. Let me see here. Got a little music playing in the background. Trying to set my phone up for you. There we go. There we go. Okay. I see Ron's here, Barry's here, and John Killian are here. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Got a little jazz playing in the background as we wait to see if anybody else is going to come in. Hope everybody's had a good day, as good as we can have in these times. So, I'm going to give it a few more minutes. We've only been on for about a minute or so. I like to give everybody at least 5 minutes before we get going. What's up, Barry? How you doing, man? Glad to see you back again. Actually, the music that I'm playing tonight kind of fits a little bit what I'm going to be reading. Ken, how you doing? What's up? Glad to see you here again. I'm hoping my reading will go a little better tonight because I actually practiced. Went through the story and made a few changes here and there. And then I look at what I got and I realize I have the wrong version. No, I don't. It's the right one. We're good. We're good. That's good to hear, Barry. I'm glad that I'm being somewhat entertaining, I guess. We're gonna give it a few more minutes. It's been about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so we'll give it a little bit more minute. A few more minutes, that is. Uh-oh. My rim from Fort Valley State Colleges just signed in. Ferg, what's up, man? That music's not too loud, is it? Rim dog. What's up, man? Hope you're not burning up down there in Miami. Okay, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. Um, I'd like to thank everybody who actually had a chance to take a look at our latest Kickstarter, Ngolo Diaspora, and made a contribution. We met our goal. Right now, we're working our way toward our stretch goal, which is $7,500. We've got like about 6 days left. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, go to Kickstarter and search for Ngolo Diaspora, and you'll see what it's all about. It's actually an African martial arts comic book, and I think you'll enjoy it. So if Ferg, you finna hit the studio, huh? All right, man. Living the dream. I see Steve Rosenstein is here. Got a nice little crowd. Got a few more seconds, and I'm gonna get started with the reading for tonight. Stephanie Turner. Got to wave at my fellow Wildcat. Living the glamorous life down there in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. All right, we're about to get started here. Turn this music down on y'all a little bit. In fact, I just cut it off here. All righty then. Ferguson said it's Fort Valley State College hot down there. If you've never been to Fort Valley, Georgia, you wouldn't know what he's talking about, but that's like really hot. Okay, hey everybody, my name is Milton Davis, author and owner of MV Media LLC. Thank you guys for coming and joining me on another night for a reading. Tonight, I'm going to be reading a short story from the Terminus Anthology. This anthology was published a couple of years ago by a group of writers that I'm a part of. It's the Atlanta State of Black Science Fiction Authors Group. We got together about a little over 2 years ago to support each other and to come up with events that will help support us as well. And one of the projects that we decided to do was a anthology. And actually, we wanted to do an anthology that had short stories that were based in and around Atlanta. And that's what the Terminus Anthology is. Terminus is actually a name that a lot of people use when they're referring to Atlanta, because that used to be the name of the city. It used to be called Terminus because Atlanta was the place where the railroads came together in Georgia. And it actually built up around that. And so we decided to use the name of it. We have basically 9 authors that contributed to this anthology. I'll read you their names and the titles of the stories. The first one is by Balogun Ojitade, or Bomani in the Case of the Missing Monsters. The second one is by Aziza Sphinx, and it's called Play the Wraith. The third one is Another Day in the A by Violet Meir. The fourth one is Blurred and Confused by Alan Jones. The fifth one is My Story, Piggyback. And then there's the sixth story is Of Home and Hearth by Courtney Watkins. And then there's the next story, My Dinner with Vlad by Kyoko M. And Not Your Magical Negro by Marcus Hayes. And The Messiah Curse by Gerald Coleman. So those are the different stories that are in the anthology. Hey, Keisha. The story I'm going to be reading you guys tonight is called Piggyback. It's my story that I wrote. And like I said, all the stories take place in Atlanta, and they all have different themes, but they're all urban fantasy type things. My story is more like almost like a noir type story. I will caution you that this story gets a little rough in the language, probably rougher than you've probably ever heard me read before. So if you have virgin ears or if you're sensitive to blue language, you may want to step away at this point. But anyway, I'm going to read the story to you. And like I said, the title of it is Piggyback. Ray pressed the 9mm against the target's head, but couldn't pull the trigger. "What you waiting on, man?" Snatch said. Ray's finger tensed on the trigger. Tony Gramello, the target, side-eyed him. No fear appeared in his gaze. As a matter of fact, he smiled. "Fuck this." Snatch yanked the gun from Ray's hand and fired 2 rounds into Tony's head. Tony collapsed on the hardwood floor, bright red blood oozing from his shattered skull. Snatch handed the gun back to Ray. "Come on, let's go." Snatch strode toward the door of the abandoned house. Ray stood still, staring at Tony's body. This wasn't his first hit, nor would it be the last. It was something about the way Tony looked at him, as if it wasn't over. "You coming?" Ray shoved his hands into his wool jacket, then took on a cool demeanor. "Why you in a hurry? Ain't nobody in this neighborhood gonna call the cops." "I'm cold, that's why. Let's go." They crossed the weed-choked backyard, then climbed the rusted fence into the yard of the abandoned ranch house where the stolen van was parked. Snatch clambered into the driver's seat while Ray trotted over to the passenger side. They both took their time, easing into the middle of the street, then cruising to the nearest highway entrance. Snatch turned on the radio and began whistling the familiar song. Ray was quiet, staring at his shaking hands. What the hell was wrong with him? He saw Tony's eyes, those staring, unflinching eyes. He wasn't scared at all. He wasn't even arrogant. It was as if he didn't care, as if he had it all planned out. Snatch, you believe in God? Ray said. Snatch chuckled. If I did, I wouldn't be doing this for a living unless I had a thing about hell. Snatch looked at him in the eye. You ain't about to go saved on me, are you? No, man, I was just thinking. Tony looked at us as if he knew he had somewhere better to be. Tony was crazy, Snatch said. That's why he got popped. Is that why you wouldn't do him? No. Ray fidgeted in his seat. It just didn't feel right. Snatch took the exit to downtown. Let me off right here, Ray said. I can take you all the way, Snatch replied. That's okay. I feel like walking. Snatch swerved the van into the nearest park. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a wad of hundreds. He counted out half, then gave them to Ray. This is the last time I pay you for something for nothing, friend or not, he said. Don't punk out on me next time. Ray shoved the money into his coat pocket. See you, bruh. Yeah. Ray buttoned his coat as he hopped out the van. He strolled up Peachtree Street to Kylie's. The bar was near empty, two patrons sitting face to face in a booth near the back in what sounded like a heated argument. Ray glanced at them, then sat at the bar. Eileen sauntered up to him, wiping a beer mug. Hey, Ray, what you having? Dead Hitler. Ooh, must have been a rough night. Ray nodded. Tony's visage flashed before him, and he shook his head. Yeah, something like that. Eileen made his drink. Usually he would sip it slow while he and Eileen flirted, but tonight he didn't feel like it. He downed the drink in one long draw, then slammed the glass on the bar. Shit, Eileen said. Really bad night. Ray dropped 100 on the bar and hurried out. He walked around the block to his condo building and buzzed himself in. He went straight to the bathroom, shed his clothes, and took a long shower. Afterwards, he called Suzette. What's up, Ray? She said. Hey, baby, did I wake you? Suzette yawned. Nah, sugar, I was up reading. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. Can I see you tomorrow? When? Let's do breakfast. I'll be there. I miss you, baby. Miss you too. He placed his smartphone on the dresser, then jumped into bed. After 10 minutes scrolling through cable stations, he turned off the television and tossed the remote on the chair by the bed. That was some freaky shit, he said. After a few fitful starts, he finally fell asleep. Ray jerked up in the morning to the sun streaming through his blinds. His head throbbed, a sharp, stabbing pain that made it hard to see. He stood, then almost fell, grabbing the chair for support. I didn't drink that much, he said. He stumbled into the bathroom, filled the sink with cold water, then splashed his face. The pain worsened. What the hell? He looked into the mirror. Instead of seeing his face, he saw the face of Tony Gemello. The hell? He jumped away from the mirror. Get yourself together, bruh. Come on now. He looked into the mirror again. Tony was still there, a victorious smile on his face. The pain spread through his head into the rest of his body. He began to collapse, but then caught himself on the sink. As the pain subsided, he lost feeling in his feet, then his legs, torso, arms, and his entire body. Tony still looked back with a smile as Ray felt like he was a prisoner in his own head. Now that's much better, Tony said. How you feeling, Ray? I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy. No, you're not, Tony replied. You're perfectly fine. At least for now. This ain't real. I'm asleep. That's what it is. I'm still asleep. I'm afraid not, Tony said. You're wide awake. A little early for my taste, but appropriate. We got work to do. Ray watched as Tony rifled through his medicine cabinet for shaving cream and a razor. Man, you look like shit, Tony said. What the hell are you talking about? Tony squirted the shaving gel into his hands and lathered his face. Ray noticed that the hands Tony used were his hands. See, this is how it works, Tony said. You see my face, but everyone else sees yours. And they should, because this is your body. I'm just piggybacking. What? Tony slid the razor across his cheek. See, Ray, you fucked up when you looked at me too long. The eyes are the easiest way to get in. Once I'm in, it takes a while to get situated. But now it's all good. Once we get cleaned up, we'll head out and get that bastard that put the hit on me. What's his name, by the way? What? Ray said. His name. Who's the son of a bitch that put the hit on me? Ray hesitated before answering. I don't know. A pain like 1,000 hot knives rippled through him. Listen to me, Ray. You're still here because I want you to be. Keep this shit up and you'll be gone. Now tell me who put the hit on me. I swear, I don't know. Snatch called up and then asked me if I wanted to make a grand. Told me to meet him on Ponce. You're not shitting me, Ray, are you? No, I swear, I don't know. Tony continued shaving. Looks like the first thing we'll need to do is pay your boy Snatch a visit. Tony was finishing his shave when the doorbell rang. You expecting company, Ray? Suzette. Tony smiled. Really? As much as I would like to check your girl out, we don't have time. I'll make this quick. Don't hurt her, Ray said. That's up to her, Tony answered. Tony opened the door. Suzette posed with her hands on her hips, her tall frame wrapped in a trench coat dress accentuating her ample curves. She'd gone natural since the last time Ray had seen her, shedding her voluptuous weave for a simple afro. Ray met her 2 years ago as she ended her shift at Magic's while he was staking out the club for a target. They hit it off immediately. He talked her into leaving the club life and paid her way through technical school. She was a pharmacy tech now, her former talents reserved just for him. Hey, baby, you gonna let me in? She said. Can't do that, Tony replied. Change your plans. I got some things to take care of. Suzette sucked her teeth. And you couldn't call a sister to tell her before I drove all the way over here? Tony slipped Ray's arms around Suzette, pulling her close and kissing her. Ray burned. It was like seeing her cheat on him, even though he knew she thought she was kissing him. And she was, except she wasn't. When they ended, Suzette had a big grin on her face. Damn, you ain't never kissed me like that, she said. I was inspired, Tony replied. Suzette kissed him again. Ray tried to scream, but felt needles of pain. Tony pushed her away. You go on home now. I'll call you when I'm done. Suzette ran her hands over his head. You hurry up, okay? Tony smiled. I will. They both watched her saunter away. Not bad. Not bad at all. Shut the hell up, Ray said. If you behave, you'll get to see her again. Now let's get busy. Tony sauntered to the closet, then slid open the door. Man, you got terrible taste in clothes, he said. But it ain't like I'm going out of town. He selected a pair of jeans, a falcon sweatshirt, and a heavy coat. After dressing, he looked in the mirror. So where's Snatch live? Tony said. Ray didn't answer. Okay, so we're going to have to do this the hard way. Ray felt the stabbing pain again. Shit, okay, I'll tell you. No need, Tony said. I got what I need. See, I got access to everything inside your head. It's just painful for you when I have to go digging. So let's make this easy, okay? Where are the keys? On my nightstand, Ray said. Tony picked up the keys, tossed them in the air, and called them. Excellent. Let's do this. They left the condo and went to the parking garage. Ray's 2008 Mustang GT rested on the 5th level, a hubcap missing. What's up with you, Ray? Tony said. You don't take care of your body. You don't take care of your ride. I think you got issues. Ray didn't reply. He was trying to figure a way out. Tony drove the car recklessly through the parking deck. He barely hesitated at the exit before plunging into morning traffic. They crept onto the on-ramp, then merged on the I-75-85. Tony took the 75 split at the Brookwood interchange. This ain't the way, Ray said. We have a stop to make first, Tony replied. 45 minutes later, Tony took the Cartersville exit. He worked his way through the city until he arrived at an upscale neighborhood nestled in a grove of white oaks. Tony drove up to the 2-story brick home near the back of the neighborhood. He was about to exit the car when he slammed his hand against the steering wheel. Damn! I don't have my keys. They're with my body. He looked into the rearview mirror. Ray saw his face and bit back his words. I guess you'll have to break into my house, Tony said. Ain't that some shit? He stepped out the car and worked his way around to the back door. He stood for a moment, his hands going to his hips. Tony said. What? Ray replied. I don't remember if I set the alarm. Tony sauntered to one of the large ceramic plant holders in his patio. He dumped the small bush out and then walked back to the house. He threw the plant holder through the window. The alarm went off seconds later. I guess I did, Tony said as he shrugged. He cleared the broken glass and wood, then crawled into his house. Hurry up, Ray said. The cops will be here soon. Tony took his time climbing the stairs and entered his master bedroom. Ray looked upon the spacious room in awe as Tony ambled to the walk-in closet. He shoved his clothes aside to reveal the wall safe. Don't look, he said with a smirk. He punched in the code and opened the door. The safe was filled with money, jewels, and guns. Tony went straight for the guns. I know what you're thinking, Tony said. When I'm through with you, or you'll come back and wipe this place clean. I wouldn't bother if I were you. This is part of the reason you killed me. I'm actually surprised I'm still here. It's still here. I guess they thought since I was dead, they had plenty of time to loot my crib. Tony was inspecting the assault rifle when the doorbell rang. He left the safe and closet and then peeked through the blinds. The cops are here, Ray said. Let's see what they want, Tony replied. He took his time down the stairs to the front door. Ray tensed as Tony unlocked the door. He hesitated, then snatched it open. The policeman, a blond-haired, middle-aged man, jerked up his head. Excuse me, sir. I'm Officer Daniels. We had a report of a break-in at this house. I'm glad you responded so quickly, Tony said. Come in. No sooner had the policeman stepped in the door did Tony take the policeman's taser and push it into the man's side and pull the trigger. The cop went down immediately, in fits and shakes. Oh, shit. You tased the cop. I didn't do a thing, Tony replied. You did. Now for his friend. Tony took the policeman's club and struck him on the head. He opened the door and waved at the policeman in the car. Excuse me, officer. Your friend asked me to tell you that he needed some assistance. The officer climbed out the car and hurried inside. As soon as he entered, Tony knocked him out with the billy club. He returned upstairs to his room safe for duct tape. He came down and taped the policeman's legs, arms, and mouth. There. Now let's go see your friend. Ray knew better than to hold back. He passed the address to Tony with no protest. Cascade Road, huh? I guess killing people pays well. Snatch ain't just a killer, Ray said. He's a facilitator. Anything his bosses want, he gets. The man is smart. He ain't that smart if he's working for the assholes I think he's working for. Shoot, the man graduated high school with a 4.0. He could have gone to college if it wasn't for the felony possession charge. You're telling me this like I give a shit, Tony said. All he needs to tell me is who put the hit on me. I'll give him an A for that. The drive from Tony's to Snatch took about an hour. Ray searched his thoughts, trying to figure out some way to free himself. As they eased up in Snatch's steep driveway, he was no closer to a solution than when he left Tony's mansion. Tony stuck a Glock in the back of his pants. What are you doing? Ray asked. Just in case, Tony replied. Snatch is cool people, Ray said. He'll tell you what you want to know. See, that's your problem, Tony said. No one in this business is cool. No one is your friend. All it takes is one order and old cool Snatch will be putting a bullet in your head. Tony climbed the brick steps, then banged on the door. Hey, Snatch, open up. It's me, Ray. He heard Snatch stomp into the door. When he opened this, he was shirtless and sweating. Man, you better have a... Ray watched in terror as Tony punched Snatch in the gut and struck him across the jaw. Snatch fell immediately. Tony grabbed Snatch under the arms and dragged him inside. He took a quick look around. Looks like everybody makes more money than you, Ray, he commented. Snatch is going to kick your ass when he wakes up, Ray said. No, he's going to kick your ass, Tony replied. Tony dragged Snatch to the nearest chair. He pulled out the Glock, then pressed it against Snatch's head. He slapped Snatch lightly on the cheek. "Wake up," he said. "I didn't hit you that hard." Snatch moaned. He attempted to shake his head but felt the gun against it. "Who paid you to do this?" Snatch managed to say. "This is a freebie," Tony replied. "Who paid you to kill Tony?" Snatch laughed. "You think I'm going to tell you?" Tony pulled the gun away from Snatch's head, then shot him in the foot. Snatch yelped and grabbed his wounded foot. "Oh, hell no," Ray said. Tony pressed the hot barrel against Snatch's head. "I'm asking you again. Who paid you to kill Tony? You're dead. You know that, right?" Tony shot Snatch in the calf. Snatch fell out of the chair onto his side and moaned. "I didn't come here to have a conversation," Tony said. "I'm working my way up to your ass. One more time. Who sent you to kill Tony?" "Low Dog," Snatch said. "Low Dog sent me." "What?" For the first time since Tony entered his head, Ray sensed weakness. Ray pushed at him, feeling his limbs and the Glock in his hand. He had control. He pulled the gun from Snatch's head. "Snatch, this ain't me doing this to you. Tony took over my mind. He's controlling." Searing pain paralyzed him. Tony shoved him back into his dark space. Snatch had managed to stand and was looking down on them, a .45 in his shaking hand. "What the hell are you talking about, Ray?" Tony jerked Ray's body out of line at the sight of Snatch's gun. He shot Snatch twice in the chest. Snatch managed to get off a shot as he collapsed to the floor, the bullet grazing Ray's shoulder. Tony walked over to Snatch and shot him twice more in the head. "You killed him," Ray said. "Damn right I did," Tony replied. "He killed me, remember?" Tony forced him to walk out of the house and back into the car. In moments they were back on the road, heading north. "That was some wrong shit," Ray said. "Shut up," Tony replied. "You could have kept him alive. He could tell you how to find Low Dog." "I didn't need him for that," Tony said. "I know exactly where Low Dog is." Ray was surprised. Anybody at Low Dog's level kept their whereabouts secret. "You're lying," he said. "Shows how much you know. Me and Low Dog came up together. At one time we were closer than brothers. A time came where we both had a chance to move up in the game. Low Dog decided to do it. I didn't." "You turned down a step up?" "Yeah. Didn't like the company. Still, me and Low Dog looked out for each other. It was good to have a friend in high places, and it was good for him to have someone else on the streets to keep him current." "But he sent us to kill you," Ray said. "Yeah, he did," Tony replied. "And I'm going to find out why before I kill him." They traveled east through Conyers and beyond Covington. Tony steered the car off 120, then down a rural 2-lane street before turning onto a narrow dirt road bordered by pine trees and blackberry vine-laced underbrush. He pulled the car into the brush, then went into the truck and took out his weapons. He inspected the assault rifle as he walked up the trail, then slipped into the woods. He stayed close to the road until it ended at the edge of a well-groomed yard. The house before them was huge, a French provincial-style stucco home with balconies at the upstairs windows. A stretched limo and a green Lamborghini was parked in front, with 2 guards bordering the front entrance. Tony crept around the perimeter of the home to the rear. 3 more guards stood by the rear door, much less attentive than their cohorts in the front. Tony reached into his pocket, then pulled out a suppressor. He attached it to the assault rifle's barrel. "What the hell?" Ray said. "You going in?" "Yep," Tony said. "I wish you were in better shape. This would be much easier." "He ain't alone, man." "Collateral damage," Tony replied. He raised the assault rifle to his shoulder. "You gonna get us killed," Ray said. "I don't care," Tony replied. "I'm already dead." Tony fired, sweeping the area. When he was done, all 3 guards lay still in the grass. He jumped from the brush, running as fast as Ray's body could manage. He was gasping when he got to the rear door. "I hate your body," he said. Tony kicked the door just under the doorknob. The door frame cracked, but the door remained closed. He kicked it again, and the door flew open. A security alarm activated, the piercing sound causing Ray to wince. The guards from the front appeared on both sides of the house, their guns drawn. Tony dove into the house as they opened fire. He rolled onto his back while raising the assault rifle. The first guard charged through the door, and Tony riddled him with bullets. The second guard stuck his gun around the corner edge and then fired. Tony rolled away as the bullets ripped the floor. He took aim through the window and shot the man twice. He rolled up from the floor and stood just in time to see Low Dog running toward the front door with a white warm-up suit, wearing a white warm-up suit, his gold chains bouncing off his chest. In his right hand, he held a chrome Glock. His left hand gripped the hand of a sepia-skinned woman in stretched jeans and a midriff top, a look of terror on her face. "Gotcha, bitch," Tony said. "Don't shoot the girl," Ray replied. Tony fired. Low Dog let go of the woman's hand and clutched the back of his thigh as he fell on one knee. Tony shot the gun from Low Dog's hand. Low Dog fell face first onto the carpeted floor. He rolled onto his back, holding his wounded hand. The woman stood over him, tears running down her cheeks. "Please don't kill me," she pleaded. "Get up against the wall and don't move," Tony ordered. The woman whined as she did what she was told. Low Dog glared at him. "Who the fuck are you?" he said. "Doesn't matter," Tony replied. "You put a hit on me. You missed." "I don't even know who you are," Low Dog said. "Yeah, that's right. I'm not myself. Still, I'm disappointed in you, Coop." Low Dog looked puzzled. "Coop? How you know my nickname, nigga?" Tony smiled through Ray's face. "We grew up together in the SWATs, dog. You telling me you don't recognize your boy Skeet?" Low Dog's face reflected his shock. "Skeet? You ain't Skeet. Skeet is dead," Tony grinned. "Not quite. But before I kill your ass, I need to know why. Why did you put a hit on me?" "This shit is crazy," Low Dog said. Tony shot Low Dog in the shoulder and the woman yelped. "Who, goddammit?" "I did, motherfucker." "You? You?" "Yeah, nigga, me. You were getting soft. Talking all the time about getting out the game. Some of the bros said you were getting cozy with the police. It was either you or me." "You listen to those assholes? Did it ever occur to you that they were trying to break us up? You ever heard of divide and conquer?" Low Dog seemed contemplative, despite the pain on his face. "Maybe." Tony shot Low Dog in the head. "Maybe it's too late now, fool," he said. He looked at the woman cowering against the wall, then put the gun to her head. The woman curled up and prayed. "Don't do it," Ray said. "She ain't got nothing to do with this." So don't do it," Ray said. Tony lowered the gun. "Get the hell out of here," he said. The woman scrambled to her feet, then fled the house. Tony stumbled to the nearest chair, then sat hard. "This is so fucked up," he said. "You done with me now?" Ray asked. "I should be." "Yeah, you should be." Tony stood and walked to the stairs. "You know you're kind of screwed, right?" "What are you talking about?" Ray said. "When folks start asking questions about who did this, your name is going to come up sooner or later. As soon as you get out of me, I'm getting the hell out of this country." Tony took them to the top of the stairs and walked into Low Dog's gaudy bedroom. He strolled into the bedroom closet, then pulled the clothes aside, revealing a safe, just like in his house. "You could leave the country." He twirled the combination lock about, then opened the safe door, revealing stacks of money and jewels. "Or we can use this investment and start our own thing." "Will it get you out of me?" Ray asked. "Eventually," Tony answered. They found a pillow cover, then filled it with money. "I think I need a drink," Tony said. "I know just the place," Ray replied. They returned downstairs. Tony searched Low Dog's body and found his keys. "By the way, what do you like to drink?" Tony said. "After a day like this, a dead Hitler." "That nasty shit? I see I'm going to have to introduce you to the finer things in life." They entered the garage. A BMW 750, Audi 8, and Lexus L50 waited. The keys opened the Lexus. They climbed inside and adjusted the seat. "The finest things you can introduce me to right now is freedom." They started the car and headed down the long driveway. "All in good time, my man," Tony replied. "All in good time." And the end. Give y'all a few minutes to catch up. What's a little bit? So that was Piggyback. That's my story from Terminus, Tales of the Black Fantastic from the ATL. As you see, my story was a little noir, laced with a little humor and stuff like that. We have a variety of different stories. We got paranormal stuff going on in here. We got shapeshifters. It's a great collection of stories, and I know you'll like it. And because of the cancellation of an event, I have plenty of these in stock. So right now, they're on sale for 40% off, which means they're like about $10.77. So if you go to my site today, you can purchase them. Like I said, there's $10.77. I got plenty of them, so you can purchase as many as you want. But again, it's a great collection of stories. I know you'll love it. They all happen in the city of Atlanta. We're actually working on a Terminus 2, which we're planning on releasing the end of this year, but it'll probably be maybe early next year. The current situation being as it is. So another great collection of stories. This one we're not going to restrict to just urban fantasy. We're going to open it up to all types of speculative fiction, science fiction, cyberpunk, sword and soul, steampunk, the whole 9 yards. But the only thing that will remain is that each of the stories need to take place in and around the metro Atlanta area. I'm going to give you guys a minute to catch up and see if you might have any questions. I see Barry said he felt like he was there in Atlanta. That's a good compliment. I'm glad you did. Thank you, Keisha. I'm glad you enjoyed the story as well. Does anyone have any more questions or comments? It feels so funny just sitting there waiting for you guys to catch up. Well, if that's it, let's do a few little waves here. So, hope you guys like the story. Again, the books are available now. I got them in stock if you want to get them. Okay, I do have a question here from Keisha Stovall. And Keisha's asking, how do I plot my short stories? That's a good question. I'm what people consider is a pantster. I don't do outlines. My stories kind of come to me. Most of the time, they come to me in phrases and scenes and vignettes. And as I start to answer the question of, okay, why did this scene happen? Why is this person here? What caused this situation to be the way it is? That's how the story starts to slowly evolve. And I usually carry the story around in my head for a while. I can't really sit down and write a story until I've figured out the ending. As far as plot is concerned, it comes from different areas, different situations. This particular story, I wanted to write something that would be a little bit more gritty, and the possession thing, it's just something that popped in my head. It's just like the idea of what if a hitman, what if a hitman was going to kill somebody, but then that person possessed them. And that's just kind of how it started. I think this is, I know I'm rambling, but it's because that's probably one of the hardest questions for an author to answer is, how do they come up with a plot for a story? It's so many different things that can influence it. Sometimes it's something that you want to write, and so you build a story around it. But sometimes it just comes out of nowhere. I see Otis just popped in here. What's up, Otis? I'm gonna give a few minutes, see if anybody else have any more questions. Barry says all my stories are so visual. There's a reason for that, Barry. I am actually more influenced by movies than I am by novels and stories. Um, I watch movies all the time, but I usually watch the same movies over and over. And one of the things that I wanted to do with my writing when I decided to write is that I wanted to give people the feeling as if they were in a movie theater. I wanted my stories to be very visual. I wanted you to feel and to see and what was going on. And it's a compliment to me when people tell me that, because then it means that I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish as far as my stories are concerned. To me, it's the visual is the most important thing. Is being able to see that story and feel like you're in the middle of it, and be able to experience it that way. So yeah, that is something that I do deliberately. Okay. It's funny watching myself on delay. Okay, so if that is it, um, thank you guys for coming as always. I hope you enjoyed the story. I will be here next week, this time, reading another story. Not sure what I'm going to read next week. I haven't read any steampunk, so maybe next week I'll read a steampunk story for you guys. But again, glad you were able to come. Glad you enjoyed the story, and I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye.